Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into one of the most wild, dramatic transformations in modern history. We're talking about the story of Hashima Island, though you probably know it better as Gunkanjima. We're going to trace its journey from literally the highest peak human population density on the planet, all the way down to complete, eerie abandonment. It's the story of how a booming hub of industry turns into an absolute ghost town. It's a story of extreme contrasts, and I cannot wait to unpack it with you. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into this by looking through a really specific cultural lens. In Japan, they have this word Haikyo. It basically translates to abandoned Japan, and it's actually an entire category of media and culture dedicated exclusively to abandoned spaces, lost infrastructure, and forgotten architecture. To really grasp how places like Gunkanjima are viewed and celebrated today, long after the last residents packed up and left, we really need to understand this Haikyo mindset first. Because Haikyo, it's not just some obscure, dusty academic concept. It is a certified trending niche right now. Across the internet, millions of us are just totally obsessing over content that showcases these abandoned Japanese spaces. There's just something so magnetic about the visual storytelling of a ruin, right? The sheer popularity here proves that the story of an empty island isn't just dry history. It taps into this undeniable collective fascination we all share with seeing what happens when nature just completely reclaims what humanity left behind.
Part 1. Peak Gunkanjima, the boom. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this single number. Just let this sink in for a second. 5,259. Back in 1959, that was the peak population living on Gunkanjima. Over 5,000 human beings, going to work, raising families, sleeping, and living their entire lives together in this one specific spot. It's just a staggering figure that marks the absolute zenith of this community's boom period. But here's the crazy part. That number is only half the story. You have to contrast that massive population with their physical reality. Hashima was a tiny artificial island. We're not talking about thousands of people spread out over miles of sprawling suburbs. They were packed onto a minuscule footprint right in the ocean. The density required to fit that many people there is honestly almost unimaginable. Just to put it into perspective, the island functioned as this towering, vertical labyrinth. You could actually navigate across the residential blocks, literally go from your apartment to the school to the market without your feet ever having to touch the ground. It was an intensely packed, thriving engine of human and industrial activity. Let's move to and see how this builds into part 2, the bust, why it emptied out. And this brings us to the core of today's explainer, a massive historical mystery. Why did Gunkanjima become a ruin? How do you go from a peak population practically stacked right on top of each other to absolutely zero? What actually causes an entire society to just pack up and vanish? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we uncover the mechanics of the island's rapid downfall. So the crucial point is that this collapse happened in a really rapid two-step process. Step 1, in 1974, Mitsubishi completely shut down the coal mine. And the reason why is huge. Japan's, and really the whole world's, energy demands had rapidly shifted away from coal and towards petroleum. This massive transition in global energy basically made the island's single foundational industry totally obsolete practically overnight. And that triggered step 2. The entire island emptied out within months. Literally months. It wasn't some slow, gradual decline over a few decades. The moment the island's singular purpose was wiped out by that global shift in fuel consumption, the mass exodus was immediate and it was absolute. Part 3. A World Heritage Legacy. And this brilliantly illustrates Gunkanjima's incredible chronological journey. Just look at this timeline. In 1959, they hit that staggering peak population of 5,259. Fast forward to that devastating pivot point in 1974, when the mine was shut down because of the petroleum shift, and the whole place empties out in mere months. And then jump all the way to 2015, where this abandoned space is officially designated as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is just a perfect summary of an island that went from a hyperdense coal mine to a completely deserted ruin and finally to a globally protected historical landmark. Which leaves us with one final kind of lingering thought today. How does a packed 1959 coal mine transform into today's trending Haikyo ruin and a prestigious UNESCO site? It really forces us to ask, what truly gives a place its lasting value? Is it the industry and the thousands of everyday people who once lived and worked there? Or is it the haunting, silent beauty of the ruins they left behind? I really hope this explainer gave you a powerful new framework for understanding the incredible story behind why Gunkanjima became a ruin.
Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll leave you to ponder that transformation.